I'm Wes Roberts. For those of you who don't know me, I came here 4 years ago for a freshman year. Before that, I was at a private middle school, St. Gregory. Well, I'm nervous because next to walking through the door here freshman year and taking the handoff from Evan Steiger during Whitbeals in our 4x8, this is the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever had to do here at Freedom. I'm nervous about this speech because it's extremely important to me. Everyone here who knows anything about me knows what I love most in life. I like being in front of people, preferably who are collected in large, dense crowds. The idea of this night has given me my drive toward academic excellence. That idea is me being able to stand here in front of you under your undivided and utterly attentive scrutiny in a dress and a funny hat. As I sway uncomfortably under your gaze and I hear my voice come out of the microphone and it sounds a little bit weird to me because I'm not used to hearing it that way. But this idea is what's pushed me to do my best academically from day one. This is the culminating point of my young life, and I wanted to make the most of it. So, in preparation for my speech, I went to a place that has the greatest wealth of knowledge and wisdom in the world. It's a place where information practically spills forth, like solution from the beaker you spill during your first chem class. This wealth of information is, of course, YouTube, where I watched various speeches by other valedictorians. The first speech I watched was amazingly intimidating. It was inspirational, funny, and original. Frankly, I had no idea how I could live up to a speech of that magnitude. Daunted, I moved on to the next speech, which was also intimidating because it was also inspirational, funny, and original. In fact, it was exactly as original as the first speech because despite being given by two different valedictorians in two different places, they were the exact same speech. It was this realization that led me to a greater revelation. I could just go find a speech on the internet. But don't worry, that's not what I did. You see, I don't believe in doing things just for the sake of doing them, like giving a speech that someone else wrote, or doing anything that's worthless. This is one of the many things I've learned during my time here at Freedom. If you're going to do something meaningless, you may as well not do it at all. If you're going to earn good grades just to give a valedictorian speech, or if you're going to give up on the third lap of your mile because of the pain, what you're doing has no inherent meaning. Life isn't about doing things just to do them, and it's not about going through the motions. It's about making the most of your opportunities and finding the meaning in the things around you, or letting go of them if they don't have anything to offer. Take grades or class rank, for example. That's something we're talking about a lot tonight. But they don't mean anything unless we make them mean something. Getting an A just to get an A doesn't mean anything. It's the learning that's important. And it's learning that we just spend about 3/4 of our lives on. And if we did it right, at some point we figured out how to learn. We figured out that studying isn't important just to get a symbol on a piece of paper so that your parents don't yell at you. And taking notes isn't important just to make the teacher stop yelling at you. At least I hope we learn that at some point. We do this to learn because learning is vital if we're going to lead meaningful lives. And that's the point, isn't it? Leading a meaningful life. Deep down, I think that's everyone's goal. That's really why we dedicate huge amounts of time to learning and growing. We want to figure out just how we can make our lives meaningful and what we have to do in order to make the most of our time here. To do this, we need to gather all the information, philosophical, academic, or otherwise, that we can about life and about the world around us, so that we can thrive as human beings. It seems to me that this is fundamentally why we learn, and if that's true, our 4 years of high school are full of information that will help us go out in the world and realize our potential. We've had a lot of great teachers to help us live up to our potential so far. I said earlier that I was terrified to come into the school during the transition to high school for me. For the first few days, I didn't even want to come to school. I was absolutely terrified of all of you. It was during this vital transition that I found solace in a teacher, a coach, and most of all, a mentor. Steve Tinker, who you probably all know as Tink, was my cross-country coach and teacher for my first 3 years here at high school. He taught me not to let fear stop you from living up to your full potential. When I was having a string of bad races freshman year because nerves kept getting the best of me, he pulled me aside and said, "It's just a race, Wes. We do it for fun." He told me to forget about the pressure before a big race by just lying on the ground and looking up at the sky, which I still do today. In fact, before we came in here, I was just on the floor in the gym staring at the ceiling. Tink taught me the importance of finding peace in the midst of turmoil, and it's something that helped me grow as a person. Later on, when his cross-country team was becoming competitive and they had hopes of going to states, he bestowed another important lesson on us. He taught us not to doubt our own abilities, and that in order to overcome obstacles, we needed to trust in success due to the hard work and determination that we had. In a nutshell, I think I can speak on behalf of all Tink students and athletes when I say that he taught us how to tap into our potential, athletically, academically, and personally. He showed us the door, but we had to walk through it. Other teachers had similar lessons. During physics one day, Mr. Wargo told us that we could be whoever we wanted to be, and that our past only defined us if we wanted it to. This is another aspect of learning that's been evident throughout our school career. We've had to decide, consciously or otherwise, what kind of people would be up here tonight as we walk up to get our diplomas. And while we may not have known that 4 years ago, the beautiful thing about life and about our transition tonight is that now we are aware that we'll be able to shape ourselves over the coming years as we exit our high school career. High school has prepared us not only through academic pursuits, but through our own personal experiences here to go out into the world and realize our potential. We've been given the opportunity to draw upon a huge wealth of resources and experiences we've compiled over the last 4 years, and use those experiences and our knowledge to better ourselves in the world around us. So as we venture off into life, I think it's important we look ahead optimistically and with an open mind, with the intention of realizing the potential in each of us, because that's what this stage of our lives is all about. In closing, I'd like to thank my parents for raising me in a way that inspired me to ask questions, my grandparents for raising me and feeding me, my friends, including my best friend Gigi, who have always given me someone to rely on, my pals on the cross-country team for teaching me the power in individuality, my teachers here and at St. Gregory for helping me realize my potential. Thank you.
The student with the second highest grade point average is our salutatorian, David Keith.